the way it currently stands, forced labor, slavery takes precedence over rehabilitation and public safety.
Oh, by the way, while the Biden administration gives reparations to everyone but freed people, look at the billions he has run over to Ukraine.
We don't have black grocery stores because if you think about it now, just to get in that supply chain, it's almost unheard of.
They don't want the truth to get out. Okay? I don't want to know what my family did or what all these people did and all this stuff like that. Okay?
Come on.
You read that 500-page report.
There's this thing called white superiority and black inferiority. That mindset allows all of the behaviors that we've seen across generations, allows for the construction of these policies and practices and systems and structures that continue to oppress us. This is not a handout. This is a debt that is owed.
You know, Allensworth was like the internet of his time in 1904, 1905.
The total black population in California is about 2.6 million, and then of that, the descendants compose about 2.2 million of that. So California, with a multi-billion-dollar surplus, can absolutely afford to satisfy the international terms for reparations, beginning with compensation.
Any financial obstacle that exists that impedes the success of increasing financial prosperity needs to be dealt with and eliminated.
No matter where we've been, no matter what part of this fight we've been in, we've been harmed, and we've had harm done to us specifically.
When I got to Los Angeles, this was some of the worst segregation I'd ever seen. And remember, I'm telling you, I'm from Mississippi.
Because as you can see, I'm giving you broken history right now, you know? But I had to give it to you guys today. I said, no, I got to show them this because it's so precious and nobody really knows about it.
Black people don't have that kind of luxury. Our historically black communities have been redistricted multiple times.
Now listen, if you can't handle the TR roof, don't tune in.
All right, this in the news. Okay. Prosecutor witness told police U of A suspect targeted victims. A witness who saw a University of Virginia student open fire on board a bus returning from a field trip told police the gunman targeted specific victims, many of them football players, shooting one as he slept, a prosecutor said in court Wednesday. The details emerged during the suspect's first court appearance, the same day students returned to classes and the university announced it was canceling its Saturday football game in the wake of the deadly shooting. A witness who was shown a photo of the shooting suspect, Christopher Darnell Jones Jr., identified as the gunman, the prosecutor said. The violent Sunday night left 3 football players dead and 1 player and another student wounded. Jones, a former football player, appeared by video link from a local jail for the court hearing Wednesday. He did not enter a plea to the numerous charges he faces, and he said he plans to hire an attorney. A judge ordered him held without bond and appointed a public defender to represent him until he secures private counsel.
Throw him under the bus. Under the jail. Just such senseless violence.
Absolutely.
And these young men had their whole lives ahead of them.
Yeah.
Ashe. Another young person who had their lives ahead of them taken from them too soon. Mexico investigates death of American woman seen being beaten on a video that has gone viral. Mexican prosecutors said Thursday that they opened an investigation into the death of a U.S. woman seen being beaten on a video that has gone viral. Prosecutors in the state of Baja California, said in a statement they are investigating the death of a woman they identified only as a foreigner at a resort development in the town of San Jose del Cabo. A state official who is not authorized to be quoted by name confirmed the victim was Shinquella Robinson. The official confirmed that the group she had been traveling with had since left Mexico. A video apparently taped at the luxury villa in San Jose del Cabo shows one woman, apparently an American, beating another woman. The video has been reposted many times on social media sites. In it, a man with an American accent can be heard saying, "Can you at least fight back?" The man did not appear to intervene in the beating. Prosecutors said police found Robinson dead at the villa on October 29th. Ashe, rest in peace.
Rest in peace. Another senseless incident.
Absolutely. And I mean, with this story, I mean, in the last story, they said that the suspect was in jail, apprehended. I want to know what's going on with these assailants in this murder case here. I mean, we have all the evidence we need. The video is out there. They left her body in Mexico. They came all the way back to America, left her body in Mexico, went to her family, telling them all kinds of lies, saying that she died of alcohol poisoning. So these people should be in jail. And if they're not, I don't know what the holdup is.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting. See if they're going to be tried actually in America. I believe they're American citizens, the suspects.
Yeah,
or they're going to be tried in Mexico.
This story was weird. I don't know why they, the victim, they listed her as a foreigner, but everybody else they listed as an American. So that was just an observation of mine. But yeah, whether they'll be extradited back to Mexico or whether they'll face justice here in America remains to be seen.
Okay, news in at the UN. The United Nations General Assembly discussed the ongoing effort to reform the UN's most powerful organ, the Security Council. Debate centered on the discussion of expanding the number of member states in the council, the use of vetoes by permanent members, and the efforts to transform the council to be more inclusive with stronger representation from Africa and small states. Ambassador Zhang Jun of China, a permanent member of the council, said reform must effectively increase representation and voice of developing countries to correct the, quote, historical injustice to Africa, end quote. Ali Kaba, the ambassador from Sierra Leone, said Africa remains convinced of the need for a comprehensive reform of the United Nations system. The failure of the Security Council to adopt a legally binding resolution addressing Russia's February 24th invasion of Ukraine and its violations of the UN Charter because of Russia's veto power has put a spotlight on the growing global divisions, the future of the United Nations, and calls for the UN reforms. Yep. Black people getting locked out on a global scale.
Yeah. What else is new? All right. Local Republican calls cops on 9-year-old black girl catching lanternflies. I believe we have a video to go along with this. Let's see what this Republican had to say.
Lanternflies. All right, here we go.
There's a little black woman walking and spraying stuff on the sidewalks and trees on Elizabeth and Florence. I don't know what the hell she's doing. It scares me, though.
It was a call to police about suspicious activity on this quiet block in Caldwell on October 22nd, made by a neighbor who says he saw what he believed was a young woman spraying an unknown substance on trees. That little black woman, as he described, was the 9-year-old daughter of Monique Joseph, who was on the sidewalk killing lanternflies with a homemade solution, a practice she had been doing all summer.
She wanted to feel like she was doing something, and it was the one thing that she could feel powerful doing, you know, and she's saving a tree. We love trees.
But it's not how neighbor Gordon Lawshe saw it, which led to a police call and a response. Joseph was there when the responding police officer approached her daughter.
I was shaking inside, and I was steadying myself because I didn't want him to feel my anger, and then I get myself in trouble.
The officer, she said, was able to resolve the situation quickly, but what remained with her was the anger that a call to police was made in the first place.
You know, Bobby is not a woman. She is 9 years old. All I could think is, what was his intentions? What did he expect to happen on the other side of that? Was he okay as her neighbor with her being approached by the police? Racism, intentional or not, is still racism.
Joseph would later recount the incident at a Caldwell City Council meeting last week in a fiery speech made to town officials, where she received an apology from the mayor.
And I'm so sorry that your daughter experienced that.
The neighbor who called police, Gordon Lawshe, did not want to speak to us on camera, referring us to his attorney. The homeowner later called police on us. As many as 3 police cars responded to the scene Thursday afternoon. An attorney for Mr. Lawshe told Pix 11 News over the phone that the incident was a result of a complete misunderstanding and it's now being blown out of proportion. He also warned of a possible defamation lawsuit against several individuals, including the girl's mother, may now be on the horizon.
Defamation lawsuit.
You know, right? This got some nerve.
Come on, bro. Like, if anybody's gonna get a defamation lawsuit, it's gonna be him.
Yeah, I
or
thought
them
that they were. I
against
thought
him.
we were supposed to be enacting laws against these false alarm police calls. I thought there was like a Karen law or Ken law or something like that. So you know, you make these false alarms. You know, there are repercussions.
Facts. Yeah, I mean that's crazy. Definitely. And then called the police on the news.
Right, called the police on the news, called this little child, 9-year-old child, a woman, said that he was scared. I mean,
I mean, I'm just gonna say alleged and suspect, but that was some serious suspect racist white supremacy as my gosh, bro.
Yeah, and then my other takeaway is the mother said that, you know, she was trying to contain her emotions because she didn't want to get in trouble. I mean, this guy is just a menace. Unfortunate to have those kind of neighbors.
I know.
And those kind of politicians, since he's a politician, wherever he's at, get him out, y'all.
Bye-bye. All right, so let's move on, shall we? Nets, Kyrie Irving expected to play versus Grizzlies on Sunday. Brooklyn Nets star Kyrie Irving is expected to be cleared to play Sunday against the Memphis Grizzlies at Barclays Center in Brooklyn. League sources with knowledge of the situation told The Athletic, here's what you need to do. Irving will miss his 8th consecutive game on Thursday night against Portland while serving a team-mandated suspension for posting a link to a film with, quote, anti-Semitic, end quote. Actually, I just put self-quotes around there. Material on October 27th. Sources close to the Nets and the league say that both sides are happy with what Irving has done throughout the process, especially given the number of community leaders he has met with. One source who was granted anonymity, anonymity, I think y'all know what I'm saying, because he was not authorized to speak on the matter, said that Irving chose to go above and beyond what was asked of him. Irving, a 7-time All-Star guard, who is averaging 26.9 points, 5.1 rebounds, and 5.1 assists for the Nets this season, hasn't played since November 1st.
Anonymity.
Yes.
Anonymity. and saying that Irving has gone above and beyond. He don't have to say who he is. He don't have to say what this above and beyond is. I mean, he just throwing out statements, this mystery man.
Mystery man. One thing to note, though, according to Fortune.com, Nike has ended his endorsement, Kyrie Irving's endorsement, as well. To know.
Well, we know what that means.
Yep. And you know, it's crazy because I know there's some people saying that, you know, other quote unquote grassroots and other social media, I don't know, some news outlets maybe, I can't confirm that, but it's been touted that, you know, how could Amazon sit up here and, I mean, I'm saying the you know, the communities that are, you know, trying to get on Kyrie are saying, look, you know, we're going to hit up Kyrie, but some people are saying, well, what about Amazon? You know, they're still selling it. It's still up. Which, I mean, for me, it is what it is, but people are trying to, you know, put Jeff Bezos' name out there. So I don't know.
Yeah,
he should be
really, you got to make it
know?
make sense. I mean, if Amazon wasn't the distributor of this content, there would have been nothing for Kyrie to share. So, I mean, I don't know how you're going after Kyrie when the actual offender, if it is an offense, when, you know, you're just telling the truth, is not being held accountable, and they're raking in a lot of money. So, and I'm talking about Amazon.
Yeah, I mean, and I just want to put it out there, supposedly, allegedly, they're making a lot of money. I mean, that's what I've heard. So, I mean,
there were confirmed reports that, you know, it had shot to #1 in sales. Typical Amazon movie content, it'd be around $2, $3, $4. They had this at $11.99. So yeah, I'm sure they made some pretty good coin once Kyrie shared the link.
Yeah, I mean, I would be interested in looking at the data, you know, on that, if there's any available. I'm sure the filmmaker, I hope he would have that information. Would know that.
Yeah,
you know?
I'm sure he's getting paid as well, but at the same time, Amazon is getting they cut.
Oh yeah, yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
for sure. All right.
Rep. Hakeem Jeffries poised to succeed Pelosi would be first Black leader in Congress. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi on Thursday announced she will relinquish her leadership role after Republicans clinched majority control of the chamber, opening the door for a new leader of the Democratic caucus. Quote, "I will not seek re-election to Democratic leadership in the next Congress," end quote, Pelosi, 82, said in a speech on the House floor. "For me, the hours come for a new generation to lead. It's about time at 82 years old, but anyways." In 2002, Pelosi became the first woman elected as a party leader in Congress. In 2007, she became the first woman elected Speaker of the House. Rep. Steny Hoyer, the second ranking Democrat in the House behind Pelosi, said Thursday he will also step down from his leadership role. All right, some progress here. According to the news reports, both Pelosi and Hoyer will back Republican Hakeem Jeffries to succeed her as the next leader of the Democratic caucus. If elected, Jeffries would be the first Black and first non-white party leader in Congress. Leadership elections are scheduled for November 3rd. First Black and first non-white. Why do we have to even include that?
Mm-hmm.
The first Black, I mean, yeah, I guess that is, guess it's good information. No, they've never had a non-white person in this position before. Okay. Who is Hakeem Jeffries? The 52-year-old Brooklyn native has served as the U.S. representative for New York's 8th congressional district since 2013. He was previously a member of the state assembly. Jeffries cruised to re-election in last week's midterms, easily defeating Republican challenger Yuri Davinsky, something, with 72.4% of the vote. He avoided the fate of other members of New York's Democratic caucus, which lost 4 congressional seats, including the one held by Republican Sean Patrick Mahoney, the House Democratic campaign chairman charged with protecting his party's hold on Congress. Or maybe that means representative, because they're talking about he's a Democrat, right?
Yeah, I think those are representatives.
Representative, okay.
Yeah.
Those losses in an overwhelmingly Democratic state stood out in an election in which the party outperformed expectations in both House and Senate races nationally. Jeffries has held prominent positions on Capitol Hill. In 2018, he defeated Representative Barbara Lee, a Democrat in California, to become chair of the House Democratic Caucus, making him the 5th ranking member of the Democratic leadership in the chamber. So it looks like he's being set up to
lead the House. Huh? Well, good for him. I think we have a video. Is this? Yeah.
No, we don't have a video of this one, but
okay.
You know, we'll keep rooting for Hakeem Jeffries.
There you go. All right. So a federal judge on Friday sentenced disgraced Theranos CEO Elizabeth Holmes to more than 11 years in prison for duping investors in the failed startup that promised to revolutionize blood testing, but instead made her a symbol of Silicon Valley's culture of audacious self-promotion. The sentence imposed by U.S. District Judge Edward Davila was shorter than the 15-year penalty requested by federal prosecutors, but far tougher than the leniency her legal team sought for the mother of a year-old son with another child on the way. Holmes, who was CEO throughout the company's turbulent 15-year history, was convicted in January in the scheme, which revolved around the company's claims to have developed a medical device that could detect a multitude of diseases and conditions from a few drops of blood. But the technology never worked. The sentencing in the same San Jose, California courtroom, where Holmes was convicted on 4 counts of investor fraud and conspiracy in January, marks another climactic moment in a saga that has been dissected in an HBO documentary and an award-winning Hulu series about her meteoric rise and mortifying downfall. I think meteoric means like, you know, middle of the road.
Mediocre, just out here playing games with people's lives. This technology never worked. I mean, she had, they were just throwing money at her to get this thing off the ground, this startup, and it wasn't worth anything. And like I said, it's dangerous because it was a medical this medical product that claimed to be able to diagnose people. It wasn't diagnosing anything, but at least she's going to jail where she belongs.
All right, so before we go on to the next story, I just want to make sure I read this correct. It says the sentence imposed is in paragraph 2. The sentence imposed by U.S. District Judge Edward Davila was shorter than the 15-year penalty requested by federal prosecutors, but far tougher than the leniency her legal team sought for the mother of a year-old son with another child on the way. So is that saying that she's pregnant right now?
That's what
And she
it
has a
sounds like
boy?
it's saying
Okay.
to me. And this case has been going on for quite a while. So she probably over there trying to pop out these babies to try to get
Dang,
leniency.
man,
You know
that's
what I'm saying?
crazy.
She knew she was going to jail, or she knew that she needed to go to jail. But they want. It sounds like they wanted to give her 15 years. They ended up giving her 11 years. And I even saw something. I mean, don't quote me. Like politicians were like signing letters of support for her and stuff like that. So I mean, it just shows you the long reach of white supremacy.
Boom.
All right, no thanks. Schumer wants amnesty for 11 million or however many illegal aliens are in the U.S. Now, we do have a video for that. Why don't you go ahead and roll it?
All right, let's do it.
Now more than ever, we're short of workers. We have a population that is not reproducing it on its own with the same level that it used to. The only way we're going to have a great future in America is if we welcome and embrace immigrants, the dreamers, and all of them, because our ultimate goal is to help the dreamers, but get a path to citizenship for all 11 million or however many undocumented there are here.
Well, first of all, how about you get those who are wrongly convicted out of prison?
Yeah, that's a good population that you can get out to help.
You know, a lot of brothers and sisters locked up that shouldn't be locked up.
Exactly, but you want to bring over illegal aliens and talking about that's the only way America is going to be great. You know, people in America used to have big, beautiful families, but our economy is in such a toilet that people don't even feel like they can, start having families. So maybe pay the American people a decent, livable wage, enough to raise families, and we'll start having our own big families again. And I can't speak for everybody in America, but I know once we get our reparations, Black people need to, get back to the soil, farming, feeding ourselves, and having great, big, beautiful families again.
Word
'em up.
All right. So in Los Angeles, looks like Karen Bass vows to tackle homelessness crime as LA's next leader. In her first address as mayor-elect of Los Angeles, Karen Bass on Thursday thanked Angelenos and vowed to tackle the, quote, big things, end quote, like homelessness and crime as the new leader of California's largest city. All right, so I'm just going to quickly interject because, you know what, I'll go back. Hopefully I won't forget. I want to say something about the whole and crime thing. Anyway, let's go. No matter who you voted for, no matter who you are or where you live, I will be a mayor for you, Bass said. The crisis we face affects us all, and all of us must be part of the solution. Bass, who represents the California's 37th Congressional District, will become the first woman to be elected mayor of Los Angeles and the second Black person to hold the position. She defeated real estate developer Rick Caruso in what she called a tough and long campaign. Bass inherits a city plagued by a growing homelessness crisis and a scandal that recently rocked City Hall, forcing the resignation of its council president. Tonight, 40,000 Angelenos will sleep without a home and 5 might not wake up. Many Angelenos do not feel safe in their neighborhoods and families are being priced out of their communities. This must change, Bass said. We're going to solve homelessness. We're going to respond urgently to crime, and Los Angeles will no longer be unaffordable for working families. Good jobs and affordable housing are on the way. Bass called Los Angeles a powerhouse and touted some of the city's advantages, including the ports and the entertainment industry, and added that residents cannot settle for rising homelessness and crime. She stressed that it is time to move Los Angeles in a different direction. This is my home, and with my whole heart, I am ready to serve, Bass said. My pledge to you is that I will hit the ground running day one. Los Angeles is the greatest city on earth, and I know if we come together, if we hold each other accountable, if we focus on the best of who we are and the best that we can achieve, we will create better neighborhoods today and a better future for our children. To everyone who will our mission to move LA in a new direction, thank you, and mark my words, we will get big things done together. The Associated Press called, let's see, is this worth reading? The Associated Press called the race in Bass' favor Wednesday afternoon after she led Caruso by 46,578 votes, with 74% of ballots counted. So yeah, this whole thing about and crime, like the homelessness situation and crime, that is very disturbing when people start talking about and crime, because you're like, okay, well, what does that mean? Because most of the time crime affects the Black community. For the most part, and other some non-white communities, Latinos specifically. But when it comes to Black people in general, like when they're talking about or specifically crime, like we're gonna have to be tough on crime. Like people need to, the advocates down there in LA and all the media outlets, news, need to ask her, what do you mean by and crime? Like, what is your plan for and crime? Because if you're talking about more police, then that's no. How about maybe we should worry about the other stuff you were talking about, better jobs, obviously work on the homeless situation. Maybe that will resolve the crime issue, guys, that's pervasive not only in Los Angeles but all in California in general,
Yeah, maybe that'll help. And I mean, out here in Sacramento, their plan for solving homelessness, part of that is criminalizing the homeless. They just passed one of our measures out here, Measure O, which is going to allow for sweeping of homeless encampments and giving city officials and the police the ability and authority to, put you in jail if you're homeless. And there's some things to go along with it, they have to have enough beds, and you have to accept a bed if a bed is available. But if you don't accept that bed, then you can be criminalized. And like I said, knowing Sacramento out here, they'll probably be like, we got beds in jail. We got bed in jail for you right now. And you end up going to jail. But anyway, speaking of Sacramento's homelessness problem and ineffectiveness, Newsom asked city to set targets for reducing homelessness. Sacramento's goal, a 71% spike. Governor Gavin Newsom has been increasingly clear about California's homeless crisis. He wants to see results from the government. That means fewer roadside encampments, fewer people sleeping on the sidewalk at night, and more stable housing for those who don't have any. So while receiving local plans for action in recent weeks, he said he was dumbfounded by one region's official goal to keep the growth of its unsheltered homeless population from rising by more than 71%. Quote, I thought it was a typo, end quote, Newsom told the LA Times without naming the specific jurisdiction. It turns out the governor was referring to Sacramento, which set the state's least ambitious target for curbing the growth of unsheltered homelessness. It was one of the data points that prompted Newsom to call local government performance, quote, unacceptable, end quote, and to pause billions in state funding for homelessness. He's convening a meeting on Friday with local officials to discuss how to address the issue. At As a state, we are failing to meet the urgency of this moment, he said in a November 3rd statement. Understanding Sacramento's homeless plan. On average, local plans forecast a 2% net decrease in the number of unsheltered homeless across California from 2020 to 2024, according to Newsom's office. While some localities projected sharper reductions of up to 64%, others swung in the opposite direction. When asked to record their goals, Sacramento city officials and a group of homeless organizations wrote 71% increase. Sacramento County's 2019 homeless census estimates that 3,900 people were living on the county streets without shelter in 2022. The county's point-in-time count indicated that number had ballooned to 6,664, or a jump of 71% in just 3 years. The city's overall homeless population had exceeded that of San Francisco. So we've got the homeless population at 71% up here, and this article is seeming to say that Sacramento's report to the governor said that their goal is to not have any growth over 71%. So to me, that sounds like Sacramento plans to do absolutely nothing about the homeless situation out here.
Yeah, I mean, even these numbers, we just have to go according to what, the news source says. Currently at 6,664.
Right.
Which is a jump of 21%. I don't know about you, but I'd be out, ETM be out, boots on the ground in the streets doing the thing. I'm telling you, it seems like way more than 6,000 people that are homeless.
Yeah, that's just on this one street out here in Oak Park, it seemed like. But the article you read, if I'm not mistaken, you said 40,000 people on the streets of Los Angeles, which just is astronomical.
Yep, it's that bad. Like, it's real bad out there in LA. Obviously, because LA has a larger population, but you don't want to say obviously, because homelessness should be eradicated, period, in all forms, aspects here in the United States, from sea to shining sea. There should be no homeless people anywhere.
But yes, like you said, Los Angeles has a larger population, and it's also a huge transplant city because people go there for, opportunities in the entertainment industry, and just a lot more opportunity out there in LA. So people do tend to migrate there just because it's a place to be.
So speaking of places to be, the Mass Media Group had a chance to cover the story at St. Andrews about Les Robinson, who did speak, and Reverend, I should say, Les Robinson, who spoke at St. Andrews Methodist Episcopal Church right here in Sacramento, California. It was a great sermon, great interview, actually, that I had with Les Robinson and his track mate that he ran track at Sacramento High School here. His name is Johnny Ware, and he was probably one of the best California sprinters out here in Sacramento. And as usual, even the Mass Media Group had to ask him some tough questions, and they knocked him out the park. So currently working on editing that interview. The last boots on the ground, I think, was the baseball players, the ex-Negro League. So we got some good response off of that one. Hopefully we'll be getting some good response for this one coming out. So once it comes out, families, please share the video, share what we're doing on this channel, spread the word, and we're just trying to make it happen.
Yeah, stay tuned for that. And yeah, be sure to hit that subscribe button, hit that bell so you don't miss any the mass media notifications.
There you go.
And with that, I think that's in the news.
All right. Until next time.
Peace out.
The way it currently stands, forced labor, slavery takes precedence over rehabilitation and public safety.
Oh, by the way, while the Biden administration gives reparations to everyone but free people, look at the billions he has run over to Ukraine.
We don't have black grocery stores because if you think about it now, just to get in that supply chain, it's almost unheard of.
They don't want the truth to get out. Okay? I don't want to know what my family did or what all these people did and all this stuff like that. Okay? You read that 500-page report.
There's this thing called white superiority and black inferiority. That mindset allows all of the behaviors that we've seen across generations, allows for the construction of these policies and practices and systems and structures that continue to oppress us. This is not a handout. This is a debt that is owed.
You know, Allensworth was like the internet of his time in 1904, 1905.
The total black population in California is about 2.6 million, and then of that, the descendants compose about 2.2 million of that. So California, with a multi-billion-dollar surplus, can absolutely afford to satisfy the international terms for reparations, beginning with compensation.
Any financial obstacle that exists that impedes the success of increasing financial prosperity needs to be dealt with and eliminated.
No matter where we've been, no matter what part of this fight we've been in, we've been harmed, and we've had harm done to us specifically.
When I got to Los Angeles, this was some of the worst segregation I'd ever seen. And remember, I'm telling you, I'm from Mississippi.
Because as you can see, I'm giving you broken history right now, you know? But I had to give it to you guys today. I said, no, I got to show them this because it's so precious and nobody really knows about it.
Black people don't have that kind of luxury. Our historically black communities have been redistricted multiple times.
Now listen, if you can't handle the TR roof, don't tune in.